Hello and welcome to ITENERT. In today's video, we're diving into the captivating history of Nigerian currency, tracing its journey from the humble days of cowries and manilas to the modern redesigned naira notes. While money may seem like just a medium of exchange, it actually reveals powerful stories of colonial influence, independence struggles, economic transitions, and the shaping of national identity. Over the years, Nigeria's currency has seen multiple transformations, each mirroring the political shifts and economic realities of the time. From pre-colonial barter systems to British rule and post-independence reforms, we'll walk you through this evolution year by year. So grab a seat and get ready to learn something new. But before we begin, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more rich and educational content like this. Now, let's get started. Long before European colonizers set foot on West African soil, the people of what is now Nigeria had already established thriving and complex trade systems. These early economies didn't rely on coins or paper money. Instead, communities across the region used a variety of valuable items as mediums of exchange. These included cowries, manilas, which were metal, bracelet-shaped objects, alongside beads, brass rods, iron bars, and essential commodities like salt. Each of these items carried social and economic value, and they were accepted across different ethnic groups and kingdoms, from the Yoruba and Igbo in the south to the Hausa and Kanuri in the north. Trade wasn't just local, it was also regional and international, especially across the trans-Saharan trade routes, and later through coastal interactions. Cowries, in particular, played a significant role. These small, shiny shells were imported from the Indian Ocean, often brought in through Arab traders, and later through the transatlantic trade networks. Over time, cowries became the most widely used form of currency across West Africa. They weren't just used for buying goods, people used them to pay dowries, settle disputes, pay taxes, and even perform traditional rituals. Their consistent size and durability made them ideal for use in commerce. This indigenous, barter-based economy continued to flourish for centuries, adapting to the cultural and economic needs of each region. It wasn't until the late 19th century, during the era of European colonization, that these traditional currencies began to fade. The arrival of British colonial powers introduced a monetary system based on coins and paper, forever changing how money was used and valued in Nigeria. The year 1880 marked a major turning point in Nigeria's monetary history. It was during this time that the British colonial government officially introduced the pound sterling as the legal tender across its West African territories, including Nigeria. This was the first formal currency system in the country, designed to integrate the local economy into the broader British Empire. Under this system, familiar British coins like the 1 shilling, 1 penny, half penny, and 1/10 penny began to circulate. These coins were minted and managed by the Bank of England, but their distribution in the colonies was handled by a private institution, called the Bank of British West Africa, BBWA. For the first time, Nigeria was operating under a centralized monetary system linked to the economic and political control of the British Crown. In 1912, a more structured financial institution was established to oversee currency matters, the West African Currency Board, or WACB. Operating out of London, the WACB was responsible for issuing all banknotes and coins used in Nigeria, Ghana, Sierra Leone, and the Gambia. This move brought standardization and consistency to the region's currency, making trade across the colonies much more seamless. The board introduced new notes and coins that were widely accepted throughout West Africa. The £1 note was the highest denomination, and the 1 shilling coin was the most valuable coin in circulation. These currencies became the backbone of Nigeria's colonial economy, facilitating commerce, taxation, and administration throughout the country. However, this currency system was deeply rooted in colonial control. It lacked any cultural or national symbolism of Nigeria itself. That would begin to change as the winds of independence started blowing through the continent. By the late 1950s, Nigeria was preparing to break away from British rule, and with that came a new chapter in its monetary story. On July 1, 1959, a historic transformation unfolded in Nigeria's economic landscape. For the very first time, the country issued its own national currency under the authority of the newly established Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN. This was more than just a financial reform, it symbolized economic sovereignty, marking Nigeria's official control over its monetary policy, banking structure, and currency supply. These first notes were issued in pounds, shillings, and pence, continuing the British monetary format, but bearing a new national identity. Although the banknotes were still inscribed with Federation of Nigeria, they were uniquely designed to reflect local themes, showcasing Nigeria's journey toward full independence. The next key change came in 1962, shortly after Nigeria became a republic. The currency was reissued to reflect the country's new political status. The phrase Federation of Nigeria was replaced with Federal Republic of Nigeria, reinforcing a sense of national pride and post-colonial identity. This was not just a cosmetic update, it was a clear message that Nigeria was stepping fully into its own on the world stage. However, political stability did not last long. By 1967, the country was plunged into a brutal civil war with the secession of Biafra. In response to the growing conflict, the Nigerian government launched a major currency reform in 1968. A new series of banknotes was introduced, with the specific aim of weakening the financial base of the secessionist region. By invalidating the old notes, the government sought to cut off Biafra's access to Nigerian funds, and assert control over the monetary system. This wartime currency change wasn't just a financial maneuver, it was a strategic tool in a larger political struggle. And once the war ended, Nigeria would again turn its attention to rebuilding and modernizing its economy, which included a major shift that was just around the corner: decimalization. In January 1973, Nigeria took yet another bold step in asserting its post-independence identity by abandoning the British-style currency system once and for all. The country officially decimalized its currency, moving away from pounds, shillings, and pence, and introducing a brand new currency structure that was simpler, modern, and entirely Nigerian. At the heart of this transformation was the naira, which became the official major unit of currency. 1 naira was set to be equivalent to 10 shillings, while the new subunit, the kobo, divided the naira into 100 parts. This decimal system made transactions easier, and aligned Nigeria with global monetary standards. The initial denominations introduced at the time reflected the country's new era of financial independence. Banknotes were 10 naira, 5 naira, 1 naira, and 50 kobo. Coins were 20 kobo, 10 kobo, 5 kobo, 1 kobo, and even half kobo. Each of these new notes bore designs that highlighted national pride and development. Notably, the early naira notes carried an image of the Central Bank of Nigeria headquarters located on Marina, Lagos, a powerful symbol of the country's growing economic control and ambition. The adoption of the naira was more than just a change in currency, it was a deliberate break from colonial legacy, and a declaration that Nigeria was charting its own economic path. It also marked the beginning of a new financial era, as the naira quickly became one of the most recognized currencies in Africa. On February 11, 1977, Nigeria witnessed another major milestone in its currency history, the introduction of the 20 naira note, which, at the time, became the highest denomination in circulation. This move was driven by a rapidly expanding economy, and an increasing reliance on cash-based transactions across urban and rural areas. But beyond its economic utility, the 20 naira note held a deep national significance. For the first time ever, a Nigerian citizen was featured on the country's currency. That individual was General Murtala Ramat Muhammad, Nigeria's former head of state who was tragically assassinated in 1976. His image was chosen to honor his visionary leadership, anti-corruption stance, and bold reforms that endeared him to many Nigerians. The note served as both a tribute and a reminder of national sacrifice. Just 2 years later, in July 1979, the Central Bank of Nigeria introduced a redesigned series of 1 naira, 5 naira, and 10 naira banknotes. These notes were not only modernized in color and dimension, but also followed a standardized size format, matching the width and height of the 20 naira note for easier handling and recognition. What made them special was the imagery. Each denomination featured portraits of prominent Nigerian nationalists, who were declared national heroes in 1978. These redesigns helped reinforce a sense of unity, pride, and historical awareness among Nigerians. However, by the early 1980s, Nigeria was grappling with serious economic challenges, including currency trafficking, hoarding, and black market activities. In response, the military regime in power at the time took drastic action. In April 1984, the government changed the colors of all existing banknotes, except the 50 kobo. This strategic move was intended to flush out illegal cash reserves, disrupt underground financial networks, and restore confidence in the formal economy. This period highlighted how currency design in Nigeria was not just about aesthetics, it became a tool for economic control, political messaging, and national identity. By the early 1990s, Nigeria's economy was undergoing major shifts. Rapid urbanization, population growth, and expanding business activity increased the demand for larger cash transactions. Carrying large bundles of low-denomination notes was becoming impractical. In response, the Central Bank of Nigeria began a series of major changes to modernize the currency structure. In 1991, two long-standing denominations, the 1 naira and 50 kobo notes, were converted into coins. This decision was made to increase the lifespan of these frequently used denominations, and save printing costs. It was a practical move, though public acceptance of coins remained low over the years due to their heavier nature, and the public's preference for notes. As inflation continued to rise through the 1990s, the central bank took bold steps to meet the needs of an evolving economy. In 1999, the 100 naira note was introduced, the highest denomination Nigeria had ever seen at that time. But that was only the beginning. In 2000, the 200 naira note was launched, followed by the 500 naira note in 2001, and finally, the 1000 naira note in 2005. Each new denomination was designed to facilitate higher value transactions, reduce the cost of printing money, and make day-to-day commerce more efficient, in an economy experiencing rising prices. These high-value notes were also symbolic. They reflected not just inflation, but a diversifying economy, one that was becoming more sophisticated, more urban, and increasingly reliant on modern banking and commerce. The 1000 naira note, in particular, stood as a milestone in Nigeria's financial history, a testament to both progress and the challenges of managing a currency in an inflation-prone environment. In February 2007, Nigeria took a bold step into the future of currency technology by adopting polymer banknotes, becoming one of the first countries in Africa to do so. The 20 naira note was the first to be printed on this new material. Compared to the traditional paper notes, polymer offered several key advantages. It was stronger, more durable, and better suited for Nigeria's hot and humid tropical climate. This meant the notes could withstand rough handling and last longer in circulation. The success of the polymer 20 naira note paved the way for broader adoption. By 2009, additional low-denomination notes, including the 5 naira, 10 naira, and 50 naira, were also printed on polymer. At the same time, the 1 naira and 50 kobo coins were redesigned for improved durability and aesthetics, and a new 2 naira coin was introduced to support small-scale transactions. As Nigeria approached key national milestones, the central bank used currency not only as a tool of commerce, but also as a medium of national storytelling. In 2010, to commemorate 50 years of independence, the CBN released a 50 naira polymer commemorative note. The design reflected Nigeria's diversity and unity, symbolizing 5 decades of growth and resilience since independence in 1960. Then in 2014, another landmark was celebrated, 100 years since the amalgamation of northern and southern Nigeria in 1914. To mark this centenary, a specially designed 100 naira banknote was issued. This commemorative note incorporated modern security features and showcased symbols of national unity and progress, highlighting how far the nation had come over a century. These commemorative and polymer innovations represented a new era in Nigeria's currency evolution, one that combined technological advancement, national pride, and a forward-looking vision of what money could represent beyond its monetary value. In November 2022, the Central Bank of Nigeria unveiled a bold new initiative, the redesign of the 200 naira, 500 naira, and 1000 naira banknotes. It was the first major overhaul of Nigeria's higher denominations in over 2 decades, and it came with ambitious goals to curb currency hoarding, reduce the spread of counterfeit notes, and address the widespread shortage of clean, fit-for-use currency in circulation. However, the rollout wasn't without controversy. The announcement triggered a wave of panic withdrawals, long queues at ATMs, and intense debate across the country. Many Nigerians faced severe cash shortages, especially in early 2023, as the old notes were phased out faster than the new ones could be circulated. Businesses struggled, market activity slowed, and citizens across rural and urban areas alike were forced to navigate a temporary but painful liquidity crisis. Despite the challenges, the 2022 redesign marked another pivotal moment in Nigeria's currency history, a reflection of the ongoing struggle to balance monetary security, technological progress, and economic inclusion in a rapidly changing world. The story of Nigeria's currency is more than a tale of coins and banknotes. It is a reflection of the country's political shifts, economic development, and national aspirations. From the use of cowries, to the creation of the naira, and from colonial shillings to polymer notes, each chapter has contributed to shaping the financial identity of Africa's most populous nation. As Nigeria continues to evolve, so too will its currency, adapting to new technologies, new economic realities, and the global financial environment. The naira, in all its forms, remains a powerful symbol of Nigeria's sovereignty, history, and hope for the future. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment telling us which part of Nigerian currency history surprised you the most.